So hi everybody, Craig Hanson here and welcome to my video. You're going to like this one. We're looking at Tommy Fleetwood and Rory Mcllroy slow motion clips here of two of the world's greatest ball strikers. Guys, there's 1,000 different swings out there, but for the people out there, there's 4 or 5 things that you really have to do, every golfer, to propel a ball down the line to hit some great shots. And we're going to have a look at this in this video. We're also going to have a quick listen to what Mcllroy says about the downswing. Looking at some less skilled players in this video as well. So let's get in there and have a look. Now, when we're having a look at the hand and wrist motion, this is where a lot of golfers around the world are struggling with. Let's have a look at Fleetwood here, bringing that elbow in really, really deep into the side of the ribs here. And what he does, he's got a big angle in the wrist coming down. He's able to match it up on the other side. It's like a throwing motion, guys. So a lot of the time when we start from this position here, we just did a video recently that was, very, very popular on YouTube, looking at this hand and wrist motion of the professional golfers. Check that one out. And when we're looking at that forearms, how close they are together, you can really get in there and see that the wrist and forearms are almost touching. Now, this is a great way to start your swing up in this position and then work your way back. Mcllroy doing the same here. You can see the hands and the wrists really moving in a very similar motion. Okay, you can see that the forearms almost touching. That's what I mean, just start in this position, swing back, and you'll create some unbelievable sensations there. Let's have a look at these two players now. We're not going to go through everything, but we're going to have a look at the front view here, give you guys an understanding of the swing geometry. The closer that you get to these positions, the better that you will play. Okay, the further away you are, the worse you'll play. All right, we've got to have some more commonality with golf training out there. We need to look at the numbers. We need to look at it's getting that way with the professionals. They're swinging a lot, working on the similar things, but for a lot of the public out there, jumping from video to video, not really that effective. You've got to get in there, guys, and have a look at what you're doing yourselves. Now let's have a look here at the grips. Important area to get some more lag, to get more speed, to get more compression, to get some more play and movement out of this top hand, this joint. Turn your hand more into a 3-knuckle grip. All right? Now, Fleetwood actually mentions that on a lot of the things he talks about when he's saying how to hit iron shots, because he's one of the greatest iron players in the world, and he talks about a 3-knuckle grip. And look at the shaft lean. Right? Now, we know that the tour average, the averages with your iron shots is around 12 degrees of shaft lean. What does that actually mean? Right, well, there's 90, so at impact, the tour pros have around 12 degrees of shaft lean. Now, in this address position, these guys have already got shaft lean. Now, a lot of club players or less skilled players aren't doing that. Then you're getting yourself in trouble. You don't want to be hitting it with, not a lot of shaft lean. You hit fat shots and thin shots, and you can't compress it. All right, so left arm and shaft is in one line. Left hand, 3-knuckle, head stays center. Just the major pieces here we're going to be looking at. We can see that Fleetwood here has moved downwards. Now moving down with their head. Why? How come? Why do the top players, why is it on average between 2 to 4 inches on the way down? Well, they hit it with a bent right arm. Okay, so if you're moving down, you can hit it with a bent right arm. There's more power in that. When you're moving down, you're gripping the ground and you can keep your angles. That means if you're standing up too tall, or you're staying up too tall, you've got to throw your arms at it, so you lose your angles, right? So this is why these players, you've got to look at what the best are doing, even if we just improve it a little bit. We play a bit of golf. So you see the head moving down, the closer they get their chest or their head to the ground, the bigger the angle often is that they come down like this. Right, now both players moving down a lot. Now when you're looking at this movement, look at the lateral movement. Look, this is what I call the wall. And if you draw a line up, this is what we teach on World Class Golf Instruction, teach you how to film your swings and draw some lines with your mobile phones. It's very easy to do. The closer you get, the better you get, the better you hit. Look at the movement of the lateral. 4 to 6 inches is tour average. Right, 4 to 6 inches is tour average in this direction. These players looks like they're having it even more than that. Now have a look at Fleetwood. He's moving his whole left leg through the wall and getting into impact. Just some of the major things we'll be looking at. Okay, the shaft lean. When we're looking at shaft lean, you're looking at getting that. There's 12 degrees. Mcllroy has a bit more on this one. Both the heads obviously moved down a lot. Half the lead leg through the wall, portion of the lead shoulder. And these are both long irons. There's 16 degrees of shaft lean at 74. Alright, so there's some of the major moves. Now, we're a club golfers. Well, just a quick one here. We'll have just a quick look. Club golfers, we're seeing most of the time they're taught to turn. Alright, and they don't have the correct wrist alignments, but they're taught to turn. So when they turn, they just twist. And then they create a collision course. But this right leg, by tour professionals, is well down into the 70-degree area. The inside of the right knee is over the ball, and so is the left eye. But club golfers, they run into themselves because they don't have any lateral movement. So the right leg's at 80 degrees, so they need to get the knees forwards. All right. World-class golf instruction has over 700 detailed videos for every golfer. Practice programs and evidence-based material is applied in helping you to become your own coach and play your best golf. Join us in the chat room and join the community of world-class golf instruction. Now let's have a listen now to what Lee Trevino says, and if I can just get the video out. Hang on a second, bear with me. That's what he says about the downswing. Hang on.
I actually broke my knees in front of the ball. I actually would break my knees because when I took the club back, I was a little shot, a little outside, and I had to get the club back inside. And in order to get it back and lay it back off, you've got to move your knees first. You can't turn. And the knees have to be broken towards the target, and it's almost a little small lateral movement there. And that's what makes the club come back in the slot again, and then you can let it go, or you know, whatever you want to do with it.
So very, very interesting. You can't turn from the top. There's a lateral movement. Now, here's a gentleman I was just been teaching recently, and this is 3 weeks or 4 weeks later, I think it was. Now, we've changed a couple of things, got the stance a little bit better, but look at this one here, running into himself, and really the elbows splaying and nothing happening here. And we can see now he's really starting to get those knees to work a little bit. We've got a little bit of hand and wrist, bit of wrist work there. And it doesn't even look like the same golfer, does it? Well, let's just check out a couple of things here from the back view. All right, we're going to have a look at a couple of players, well, not a couple of players, the same players from the back view. And we'll just look at a couple of the moves here that are very, very important. One being the shoulder plane. This is extremely important that we get the shoulder plane right. And then we'll just have a look at a club player as well. So when we're getting to the top here, club face positions, obviously wrist alignment is very important. We see that the toe of the club is pointing up at 1 o'clock, because when it comes down, you're always going to see these top players bringing the club back down so that it is more up towards 12 o'clock. So you'll see Fleetwood doing the same, more over to 1 o'clock here, and then when the club comes down, you're going to see that both the players, you know, bringing this club down. Fleetwood, some of you are seeing the players erring on the side of 12, and you have to have that. All right, so club players often have the club over here. You can do this with your mobile phone. You know, I'm going to show you just a little bit later on. You can just film this with your mobile phone. On World-Class Golf Instruction, we teach you how to do that. Right? It's got over 700 videos. We teach you how to join the community, join the chat room. It's great talking about golf and getting in there. Now, looking at these guys from the top of the swings, you're going to see their shoulder planes down. You're going to see the angles. This is a 42-degree angle. You'll see at the top here, you're going to see Fleetwood. He's at a 45-degree angle. And you see the arms and the wrists lined up nicely. So you want to get your wrist alignments working nicely. That wrist is going to be pointing down to the ball. You get yourself in a position at the top that's good. It's pretty hard to hit it bad. Right? Now let's have a look here at one position. We're looking at forearm plane. This is the vertical plane. Now something that I always do is when I look at this vertical plane, we've got 46 degrees. And when it's just the club head's just behind this elbow here, we're going to have a look. There's 47 degrees. Now, you're looking at averages of movement, right? Now, the golf ball has to be propelled down the line with a square face. There's averages of movement. Now, if you're well away from these positions, you can't hit it with positive things. It's like sitting in a sports car without a steering wheel. It's just not going to work. But the more you chip away and work at things, the better it gets. Now, when you're looking at club players, the shoulders are over at high 20s, 30 degrees. And when they're coming down, they can't hit the ball from there, so they have to reach it. They're way up, they're too high. The shoulder plane's too level, so they have to tip this all over. Now the arm's back here, and now now it's nasty. We've got the club coming down, and we're nowhere near the 40-degree area, are we? Now look where that is. It's got to be over here somewhere, and we're really having some issues with the club face coming down, and yeah, we've got an open face, and we're going to, you know, that club head there, if I pop up a line, it's going to be, you could shank it, couldn't you? So you've got to get your hands on the right information. Now, I was just saying on world-class golf instruction, what we really get in there and do is teach you guys how to film your swings. Now, it's just, it's essential that you know what you're doing. All right, so if you're setting up your phones and you draw a few lines, there's a free app you can use. It's so easy to do. And all of a sudden you start to work on some consistent things. and getting your swings then moving in, in a much better position.